Welcome to the world's #1 fitness business podcast for health club owners, gym managers, and fitness entrepreneurs. As always, this will be a great show as we have another expert to help your fitness business and your career. We'd like to thank our premier sponsor, Active Management, for supporting us, and we highly recommend becoming a member of Active Management to strengthen your business in 2016. There are loads of resources members receive, so join the Active Tribe today at www.activemgmt.com.au. Now that's enough from me. Let's welcome the show's amazing host, Chantal. What's on this week's show?
Thank you so much, Harper. Hey, Tribe, how's your week been? I hope it's been a good one for you. Here in Sydney, we are just about to head into summer, and it is getting hot. I love this time of year because as I'm recording this right now, it's about 8:30 in the morning and we are at about 27 degrees already, which is around 80 Fahrenheit. That makes me very, very excited because it's going to be a hot day today. Now, let's talk about this week's show. I want to tell you about our special guest. Her name is Ilana Wechsler, and she is the founder and director of Green Arrow Digital. She's a former data analyst turned pay-per-click expert. And during today's interview, Ilana goes through and defines all of the most frequently used terms that you hear in relation to Facebook advertising. She tells us about the importance of pixels. Don't worry if you don't know what they are. We're going to talk about that. And conversion tracking. And we talk about why video is such an important tool for fitness professionals. But before we jump into all of that, I'm pretty sure that you guys probably have read or heard or seen that growing momentum around virtual fitness all over the globe. I was reading an article just this week from a website called What's New in Fitness, and the title of the article was Les Mills says virtual fitness is the fastest growing fitness solution. And in the article, it states that it's estimated that there are more than 12,000 clubs globally that have a virtual offer, and Les Mills expects to see this double in the next 24 months. Really interesting article. Make sure you check it out. Now, here in Australia, I've got to tell you that we really haven't started to see that many clubs offering virtual at the moment. But from what I understand, in the US and Europe, it's really expanding quite rapidly. And you might recall a couple of weeks ago, I interviewed Rasmus Ingerslev, who is the new chairman of URSA, but also the owner and founder of Wechsler Virtual. And during that interview, I actually asked him to talk us through a few of the important features of virtual fitness within a club. So I thought we'd just do a little flashback back to that show so that you guys can hear what he had to say.
So looking at the studio itself, think of it somewhat like a cinema. If you turn on the light in a cinema, you would ruin the picture, right? If you had the best film up there and there was no sound, it wouldn't work either. Then the quality, if it was all grainy and you couldn't hardly see what it was, it wouldn't be good as well. And the film itself needs to be good. So you have to have good lighting, you have to have good sound, you have to have good picture, and you have to have great content, the class itself. Those are four of the most important five, and the final five is marketing. You have to let people know that you have virtual. It is not like a treadmill, still not like a treadmill that you put in and everybody knows, oh, this is a treadmill, just step on and then I'll ready to go. Virtual is still a fairly young product, so you'll have to let your members know that this is the product that you have available. If you do that and do that properly, we're seeing attendance that goes 10% and up, meaning that every time you have 100 guests coming into your club, 10 of them will be doing virtual. And I think that's incredible numbers if you look at the cost of virtual compared to anything else that can handle 10% of your traffic.
And Rasmus, can you also give us an overview of how a club might implement virtual fitness into their business?
So it depends a little bit. That's something we always work with the club on agreeing, in the sense that what we predominantly deliver is the flexibility that members can either do scheduled virtual classes or they do on-demand classes. And that depends on time. So if I'm a club operator, which I am, I would have live classes during my peak hours. I would have virtual classes during my semi-peak hours, which would be scheduled classes. So thereby I would extend my group exercise program, which, by the way, creates a significant marketing opportunity and advantage from a competitive perspective. And then off-peak hours, I would then allow members to choose classes on demand. If you're a 24-hour operation, there's no reason why you would decide what happens at 2 a.m. in the morning. If somebody comes in and wants to do a yoga class, let them.
Tribe, that's just a brief snippet of what Rasmus had to say. It's an area that I've got no doubt that we're going to chat more about in a future show. But in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll put the link to the article that I mentioned earlier and also the interview with Rasmus in today's show notes. Tribe, as you know, finding the right guests and the right topics is a really important part of our show because I always want to make sure that we are interviewing people that are going to add value to your business and that we're going to give you information to strengthen your business. So if you ever have any suggestions or requests on guest speakers or on topics, please email me at any time. My direct email is chantal@fitnessbusinesspodcast.com.
The Fitness Business Podcast is very appreciative of our podcast partners. Here's a quick word from one of our partners.
Active Management helps owners and managers have the business work for them. Test the quality of resources with a free download at www.fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/active. This week's flashback show is show 39, which featured Lisa Maltman. She talked about how sleep can impact our lives, our business, our teams, and our clients. It was actually one of our most popular shows. So if you missed it, go back and check it out. That is show 31, and you can find it on iTunes or at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Ilana Wechsler is the founder and director of Green Arrow Digital. She's a former data analyst turned pay-per-click expert. She has worked at many of the global financial institutions, but switched careers many years ago when she finally gave into her passion for pay-per-click and online marketing. She is truly passionate about working closely with her clients and also teaching businesses how to run profitable ad campaigns themselves without needing an agency. Ilana, are you ready to Fitspire our global tribe of fitness business owners and managers?
I sure am.
Excellent. Now, I have just shared your amazing bio with all of our tribe, and you've had quite a career. You've even launched your own social media business, which I'm quite sure will be inspiring for many, many of our listeners. It all sounds incredible. Tell us, have you had any roadblocks or have you had any hurdles along that road to success?
Oh, absolutely. Building my business has been a journey of lots of twists and turns and pivots along the way. I started my journey after going on maternity leave, actually, and not being able to return to my job. So contrary to how a lot of people start their own business being disgruntled in their job, I actually really enjoyed my previous job, but circumstances got in the way, and so I had to create my own journey. And I've actually built my business whilst also having a family, and I've 3 kids now, actually. So I assure you I'm a very busy person. But the amazing thing is that when you're busy, it means you just have to be extremely productive. And as the saying goes, if you want something done, you got to ask a busy person. And being a parent, you constantly have to focus, keep moving forward and make constant assessments and judgments about what's the most important thing to do today, and also being passionate about what you do. So it's definitely been a journey for me, and it's a wonderful road, but it does require a lot of perseverance.
I could just imagine, and I bet you are an amazing multitasker, looking after a family and a business. So let's talk about that business. How about you start off by telling us all about Green Arrow Digital?
Sure. So essentially we are a boutique digital agency. We're specialists. So we only do what's called paid traffic. We're people who pay for their visitors to their website. But the point is they're strategic. We're strategic about who we pay for. So, we help clients through, the paid advertising, Google ads and Facebook ads, but we also teach businesses how they can do it themselves without needing an agency. So generally clients fall into 2 categories. Either we do it for them completely, or we teach them how they can do it themselves through step-by-step processes and breaking things down into very layman terms.
Okay, so could you maybe put this into the context of a gym owner? For example, how would you help? How would Green Arrow Digital help a gym owner?
So if they want to learn how to do it themselves, which a lot of our clients do fall into that category, we basically we sit down and we talk to them about who their target market is and essentially where that person is online. And then it's about putting the right message to market in front of that right person. So it's about picking the particular channel, so be it Facebook ads or Google ads, and often it's actually both because they're very different people. So someone who's Googling something is, you're scratching an itch, like they're searching for something and it's an opportunity really to slide your business card under the nose of them at the very point they're looking for it. So if they're searching for a CrossFit gym in San Francisco, if you're a CrossFit gym, you can have a text ad that pops up in front of that particular person, obviously based on what they've typed in. Or if you want to do Facebook ads, which is more about the person that they are and what interests they have, if they like yoga or Pilates or whatever, you can show ads to the people who have those interests.
Ilana, do you have any advice for a business owner who is working with a small budget, say?
Well, I guess that's the beauty, like especially with Facebook ads, is that you really don't need a lot of budget. And with someone who does have a small budget, it's about being very, very strategic about where you spend that money. So the most logical place that people start with is showing ads to people who've been to their website before. So, and that means like anyone who's come to their website from any traffic source, like even somebody who just Googled you and clicked on an organic listing or typed in their website in the URL, like you can show ads to those people on Facebook from when they've come from anywhere. And that's often the best place to start because people already know you, they've been exposed to you to some degree, so that you're just reminding them of you, really. And it's essentially like a second bite of the cherry, really.
Ilana, I'm going to get you to give us a definition for some common Facebook terms. But first, I want to ask you a question in relation to Facebook pages, because I often hear people say that they've got, a decent number of people who follow their page, but they aren't necessarily getting many likes or shares or comments when they post something. Why is that?
Yes, a common complaint. So essentially, Facebook is now what's called a pay-to-play platform, which means that, yes, a lot of businesses have acquired a fan base, but now you need to really pay to access them by boosting a post. So you put a post on your Facebook page, and then you probably see the boost button next to it, and you can boost the post that way. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. You can boost it for, let's say, $3 or $5, but you do need to put some money behind it to increase the viewability, the accessibility of that post to your existing fan base.
Right. So when you do put that money behind it, it doesn't necessarily go beyond your fan base. It just goes to the people that have already liked the page, or can you actually choose where that boost goes to?
You can choose. You can absolutely choose. So some people choose to only show things to their fans, which is one strategy. An extension of that strategy is you can do what's called a friends of fans campaign. So if you've got 2,000 fans on your page, you can access friends of those 2,000 people. And I love a friends of fan campaign because especially in the fitness area where people like to work out with other people. So generally their friends would be something that they would do together. And it's still targeted. So it's not like it's a completely, what we call it, like a cold audience where they don't know you. Embedded in that post will be that their friend likes that page. So there's still embedded social proof in that ad. So it's still somewhat targeted, but it really gets you the opportunity to expand your reach beyond those 2,000 fans.
Okay, great. So that's a boosted post. Talk to us now about a sponsored post.
So sponsored post is so as I explained before, like you put a post on your page and then you boost it. But if somebody were to go to that page, irrespective of seeing the boosted post, they just looked it up or something on Facebook, they would see that post. So you can do a sponsored post which is hidden from your page that might not want it public for everyone. So they're also we also call them what's called a dark post in the industry, because you might want to write different versions of that post that you don't want public for everyone.
Okay, and with that,
not confusing people here.
No, I think we get it. And with that sponsored post, then you once again can choose specifically what audience that gets shown to.
100%. Yeah, you can be as targeted as you want or as broad as you want. It really depends on what the goal of what you're trying to do is.
So in the context of a fitness business, if we are saying we boosted a post and we decided to go out to the friends of friends, which you mentioned before, what's an example of where we might put a sponsored post for a fitness business owner?
So it depends. So some people have different what's called customer avatars. So they've got a few different people who are their ideal clients.
We are big fans of the avatar on this show.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
cool.
We talk a lot about the avatar.
Good. All right. So let's say you've got two very distinct different avatars.
Yep.
One being a male and one being a female. You might want to show an image for a female that's different to the one that you want to show for the male. And so if you've got both of them on that Facebook page, then everyone can see it. You might not want that.
Gotcha. So you separate the two of them.
You're separating your ad copy and what you're writing to those people, because what motivates a female person doesn't necessarily motivate a male person,
Spot on. Got it. Well explained. Thank you for that. Okay, talk to us now about a Facebook ad. How does a Facebook ad sit compared to all the rest of the stuff we've been talking about?
Okay, so a lot of people say to me, well, what's the difference between boosting a post and doing a Facebook ad? And it's kind of lots of different levels. And basically the Facebook ad platform is very, very clever. And they've got an algorithm behind it which optimizes your objective. So a Facebook ad, you can say to Facebook, this is my goal. This is what I'm trying to do. And for many gym owners, it would be to get a new member into your gym, right? So you can say to Facebook, I want you to optimize my ads for these kinds of people who do this certain action. And the algorithm behind it, you don't have to understand how it does it, because I've got no idea how they do it. But they optimize your ads to show more of the ads to people who they think it will convert better. So, for example, once an ad's been running for a while, if they start to see who's been doing what you want them to do, and they say, oh, right, okay. So it learns who to show the ads to, and actually your ads get better and better as they keep running for longer. But the ads are also not on your page. So I've had also clients say to me, we've done an ad, but I can't see it on my Facebook page. They're not on your page.
Okay. So you need to then go into the ads manager, I assume, to see the ad and where it's being delivered.
Exactly. And so and that's because you might want to show different ads to different people that you don't want public. So it's easy to explain this with an example. So one of the sort of the classic campaigns that we run would be somebody who has gone to their website before, they visited the membership sales page and they didn't fill in their form and they didn't do what we wanted them to do. So we might show those people and ad only those people with some kind of 10% discount. Now, I don't want to put that ad on my Facebook page because I don't want everybody to get that 10% discount. I only want to show that 10% discount to the people who went to my sales page but didn't become a member. Maybe they need a little bit of a sweetener to come on board, or a free month or a free week or a free class or whatever it is. So you can show offers to people that you don't want to show offers to everyone.
I love that. So you can be super, super targeted with your offer.
100%. Yeah. And you can show certain offers to certain people based on their interests. And it's actually really limited by your imagination. It's true. It's amazing what you can do.
That's excellent. That's and very clear. Thank you so much, Ilana. Okay, let's keep going with our definitions. How would you define reach?
So the reach is the number of people your ad was shown to.
Right. Okay. And how about pixels?
So the pixel, most people get really daunted by pixels, and they can look a little bit scary, but I assure you they're not. It's basically just a little bit of code that Facebook gives you that you put into a certain place on your website. Most people have a website designer they can give that pixel to, and that is stored on your website so that you can remember who's been to your website, as I said before, from any traffic source, be it somebody who might have an email database and they've gone to your website from that, so that you can remember who's been to your website actually for the previous 180 days. So anyone who's come to your website in the last 6 months by installing this pixel, you can remember that. And therefore show ads.
That's what I was just about to say. So therefore, the advantage is we can take that information and specifically deliver advertising messages or offers to them via Facebook.
Exactly. That's right. And only those people. So like we get a lot of people who come to us who get a lot of traffic. Let's say they're ranking for something organically in Google or through any different means, or they've got like a really big like Instagram following, or let's say, and they get heaps of traffic to their website, but they don't really have much Facebook presence, so they can instantly get access to that, all those people that have been to their website.
Very, very cool. Tell us about the definition of retargeting. What does that mean?
So it's essentially kind of what I was explaining before, by showing ads to people, but only the people who've been to your website before. But you can't do retargeting without installing this pixel. And as we mentioned last week, one of the things you need to do before you get started, which so many people fall in the trap of doing, is they don't install this magic pixel onto their website. So before you do anything, before you spend a cent or a dime on ads, you need to install this pixel so that when you are ready, you can start doing retargeting.
Okay, let's take a step backwards. Where do we get this magic pixel? How do we find it?
Okay, so I can provide a free video showing you exactly how you can get it. But essentially, for the people who are listening, it's in your Ads Manager account. So by having a Facebook account, even a personal one, you automatically have an ad manager account. So you've got to go into your ads account and there's a little drop-down menu that says pixel, and then you can get your pixel that way. But I can make a free video available showing you how to do that.
We would love that video. Thank you so much, Ilana. Okay,
Pleasure.
Are there any other keywords or anything else that you think that we need to know in the Facebook dictionary?
I think if people are going to start running ads, they want to be able to measure success. Are their ads working? Are they generating a return on their investment? So to do that, you need to get familiar with conversion tracking, and that is so that you can measure success. So many people think, oh, well, why do I need to do that? I'll be able to see an increase in my membership rate or whatever. But you want to install conversion tracking so that you can attribute it down to the actual ad or the interest that you've been using in your Ads Manager account. Because what you might find is so the way we teach business owners to do this is we structure it in a very systematic way. And we can often, what happens is 80% of all the interests that we're targeting don't go so well, but we get 20% that are amazing and work really, really well. So by installing conversion tracking, you'll be able to identify what those 20% interests that convert really well are, so that maybe you reduce your budget going forward. You don't bother spending money on the 80%. You just focus on the 20% and you reallocate your budget that way. So you do more of what's working, but equally important, less of what's not working. But you need to be able to be armed with that knowledge, like the data, to see that. And that's why you need conversion tracking.
Ilana, tell us this. If you were a fitness business owner, what would you do? Would you go out and do Google ads or Facebook ads or both? What would be your first step?
Personally, I would do both. Mm-hmm. And because they're two very, very different platforms and they behave very differently, but they both have their place in the world. So as I said before, like with Google ads and predominantly they're usually the search ads, so people who go to google.com and the text ads that come up, like you're scratching, as I said, you're scratching someone's itch. Like they're an amazing opportunity for business owners, but they're not visual, so that's why I think to do Facebook ads as well, where it is so visual and you can incorporate video in your Facebook ads. Well, you can actually do that in Google ads as well, but it's probably better on Facebook. So I don't think it's an or, it'd be an and for me.
Yep, it's a both. Ilana, earlier you briefly touched on video. Can we talk a little bit more about that? Because I do see a lot of personal trainers in particular putting videos online, and there's some, in fitness, there's some amazing content that we can produce. Can you talk to us about video and how we can really be maximizing our use and our benefits of utilizing video?
Look, video on Facebook for the fitness industry is huge, and it's amazingly powerful. And I mean, I'm sure most people can understand how. So for our client, our yoga studio, we ran at the same time just a straight image ad and a video ad. And by far our video ad outperformed our straight image ad. We got tons and tons of views. We got people sharing it. We got people commenting saying, hey, let's go to this place together. I mean, what better way to showcase what you offer in your gym and what you can do for people and their lives, and you can interview people than through a video. And actually Facebook are so all in on video. Obviously, most people might know you can do a Facebook Live, which is a huge thing that is just exploding right now. But you can also, you can create remarketing audiences based on people who have viewed your video. So if somebody has watched your video, either a Facebook Live or a standard video, Facebook will create an audience of people who have finished watching your video, or maybe an audience of the people who only got halfway through your video. So you can really start to create engagement and audiences to then show people ads later if they didn't do what you wanted them to do.
That is seriously cool. I did not know that.
It's actually amazing what you can do. So they have partial audiences. So they've got you can create an audience of people who've watched 25% of your video, 50%, 75%, and 95%. And you might just show somebody who's watched the whole video a different ad versus somebody who only got halfway through. And that's how granular and segmented you can get. But, I mean, what better way than to showcase your gym than through a video, and you can interview people and say, yeah, this has changed my life, and this is where I've come. So it's really limited by your imagination, as I said before.
I'm starting to understand why you get so excited by data.
It's true.
That's very cool. That is very, very cool. As a matter of fact, so JT from Active Management, who often comes on the show and who you're familiar with, Ilana, he has a weekly show called JT in the Raw, which is a Facebook Live show which he does every Friday. And I know that he's been, working on building that audience, and he, I think, has done a really good job of having a show that appears at the same time every week with a set format that it runs for about the same amount of time, and it's quite structured. However, I do see a lot of fitness businesses going out and kind of just very ad hoc doing a Facebook Live video here and there, and maybe they'll do one week and not the next week, and the subject might change. What's your feeling on that? Is there any data or statistics around the success of having a regular Facebook Live show as such versus ad hoc? Is there any stats that you can share with us around that?
Look, I think it's still very much in its infancy at the moment. Facebook have made it very clear that they're heavily promoting people doing a Facebook Live. And I know from people in the industry that business owners who are doing a live, that they're getting a much better organic reach from their posts as well, which is quite interesting. So there's no sort of hard data about sort of the regular versus the ad hoc stuff. I think people have just got to do it, however it fits in with their life or their business. I would hate to think that somebody does not do it because they can't commit to doing it regularly. I think there's a lot of merit in doing it regularly. People love regular content, and they love the fact that, on 10 a.m. on a Friday, they'll be doing this. But often some people can't do that, So the beauty is that Facebook Lives, you can watch the recordings, and a lot of people watch the recordings. So it doesn't mean that if people aren't watching it live, they're going to miss it. They can still get the recordings.
Great advice. Thank you so much. Okay. Man, we've covered a lot already. Before we go into your final 3 tips, your final Fitbizpiration, as we like to call it, is there anything else that you think that fitness business owners should know when it comes to social media marketing?
Yeah, so a lot of business owners don't realize that you can actually upload your database to Facebook. So let's say you have a newsletter with lots and lots of people on your newsletter, and you sort of, you send out your newsletter to try and promote your business or whatever, and perhaps it has a really bad open rate, like not many people open the emails. You can upload that list of people to Facebook, and then you can show just those people ads. And one other thing which I love about Facebook, which we haven't talked about, is what's called lookalike audiences. So Facebook, as you can imagine, they know everything about us. They know everything that we like and we don't like, etc. And in fact, they've openly said they've got 2,000 data points on each person. So you can say to Facebook, here's a list of my database or my member base. Here are all my members. Go away and find me people who are similar to these people, but not these people in this location. So it's a great way to be more targeted rather than just doing generic ads. And you can do lookalike audiences based on your pixel, which is why it's really important to store the pixel, and also the email database, et cetera, et cetera.
Ilana, you've given us bucket loads of valuable information today, and we're going to hear a quick word from our podcast partner, Precore. And then when we come back, I would love you to leave us with your Fitbispiration before we finish off today's interview. Tribe, if you haven't explored a functional training space for your gym, then now is the time. With Queenex Functional Training by Precore, there is a unit to fit every space. Plus, education is included to ensure that training is delivered with confidence. You need to jump online and check this out right now. Go to precore.com/fitness business podcast. Okay, Tribe, here are Ilana's top 3 tips for marketing your fitness business on Facebook.
So number 1 is probably no surprise to you, is to install the pixel, because if you don't do that, it's such a missed opportunity. Number 2 is to get good images. Like, Facebook is such a visual platform. Ideally, it would be great if people could get a professional photographer, but if you can't, budget doesn't allow, or for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You can use stock images that are available for free on the Facebook ad platform, or even there's lots of low-cost apps that you can get on your iPhone or something that you can edit some images that you can take yourself. But the experience that I've had in the industry with good images versus not such good images is by far and away the good images far outperform the bad ones. So, yeah, as I said, you can use free stock ones.
Excellent advice. And number 3?
Number 3 is, I think, a lot of people aren't really clear about their customer avatar and who really they want to show ads to. So the beauty with Facebook ads is that you can be very, very clear. One example is you can target people who use the Runtastic app, for example, if they're into those running apps, or you can go as granular as you like, and you can include and exclude people. So it's about being very, very clear about who your target market is, and then really you can find them on Facebook. But the hard part is identifying that target market.
Well, they are 3 awesome pieces of advice. Thank you so much, Ilana, for coming on today. I feel like I've learned so much from having you here. And we are going to put your contact information in the show notes, along with that little guide that you said that you can share with us about how we find our pixel. So thank you very much for that. And thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Before we head into this week's takeaways, I caught up recently with our new podcast partner, Precore, about some exciting updates for all of our gym owners and managers out there. Hey Tribe, I am here today with Dan Album. He's the Global Marketing Director at Precore. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Thanks, Chantal. It's great to be here.
So tell us, is there any exciting news coming up for Precore in the next few months?
There's so much happening at Precore. The Precore philosophy of fitness made personal means we're very focused on providing our customers the solutions that help them positively differentiate their member experience at their club or studio to successfully grow their business. We're excited about delivering continuing innovation and building a stronger partnership with their customers, and that includes easier to buy, predefined configurations for our Queenex functional training system. In choosing from 19 pre-specified configurations, we've made it even easier for our customers to deliver the total body workout experience that's effective, fun, and will drive even better member retention, attraction, and training revenue.
Actually, speaking of Queenex, I was on the Precore site the other day, Dan, and I was checking out the system, and it is amazing. So, Tribe, make sure that you jump onto the website and check out the Queenex system. Is there any other news coming up, Dan?
There sure is. Building on our legacy of inventing the elliptical category more than 20 years ago, our new EFX with converging cross ramp provides a workout experience that more closely matches exercisers' natural gait. Design and features like the active status light that immediately determines product functioning status makes it easier for our customers to service what they have on the floor, and improves overall operational efficiency. Our new P82 and P62 console options allow a lot of customer flexibility to match with our cardio products to deliver touchscreen convenience, entertainment choices, and personalized fitness tracking for members, along with all the other operator benefits of a networked fitness experience. Plus, our new Power Rack and new plate-loaded strength products complement the cardio innovations I mentioned earlier for a total fitness solution that meets the needs of our customers and delivering an experience for their members that will keep those members coming back. Just another way of delivering on fitness made personal. Our listeners can always find out more about Precor Fitness Solutions, plus other industry insights, trends, and tips, helping them to grow their business at www.precor.com/fitnessbusinesspodcast.
I love the sound of that. Dan, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And Tribe, don't forget, you can, of course, jump over to today's show notes and you can also click through to that exact same link. Dan, thank you very much for joining us on the Fitness Business Podcast.
It's been a pleasure, Chantal.
It's time for the Fitness Business Podcast Wrap.
Here are my top takeaways from this week's show. Ilana said with Facebook ads, you don't need a huge budget, but you do need to be strategic about where you spend your money. Now, if you install the Facebook pixel on your website that we talked about, it means that you can track who's been to your site from any online traffic source in the past 6 months, which therefore means you can be very specific with your ad targeting. So don't forget, if you're not technical like me, then Ilana has given us a free video on how to install your Facebook pixel on your website, and you can find that link in this week's show notes. She also said that video is really, really powerful for the fitness industry, and it is essential to use good quality video and images for your social media posts. Thank you so much for joining me for another week of the Fitness Business Podcast. Tribe, remember, what you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.
Great show this week that you should be suffering DOMs, delayed onset mind soreness, as you are overloaded and that's when your mind is strengthened. You and your business have been strengthened thanks to the amazing support of our premier sponsor, Active Management. Check out www.activemgmt.com.au only if you want to strengthen your business and your leadership. Don't forget, all today's links and notes are found at www.fitnessbusinesspodcast.com, where you can also subscribe and never miss a show and maybe win a prize. Next week is another incredible guest with Chantal, so get ready for more Fit Bizpiration.